What's up, YouTube? My name is Uncle Smokey, and this is Uncle Smokey's Stock Trades. And before I start this video, I would like to say I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. So please take what I say with a grain of salt and do your own DD. Today we're going to talk about ticker symbol MMAT, Meta Materials Inc. We're going to break down the TA, we're going to look at the options chain, we're going to look at Ortex, go through Fintel a little bit, we've got a little bit of news, and at the end of my video we have the prediction. I also do want to tell you that with the news is going to be coming a little bit of information about ticker symbols SPRT and BBIG. Let's move on to MMAT first. So we opened up today at $4.61. We hit an immediate high of $4.70, an immediate low of $4.42, and then we closed the day out at $4.63, basically finishing flat on the day. We did trade about $14.5 million in volume, and $7.5 million of that was in the dark pools. That is unseen trading, stuff we can't even look at. That accounts for about 55% of the overall trading volume today. Now that means that basically they can see everything we do, but we can't see anything they do. So basically my bear prediction came to fruition today, and unfortunately for that. Now, the morning did start off immediately with a major short attack. There was quite a bit here. Let's see here. There was... Let's call it, in shorting volume, downward pressure, about 1 million, roughly. And it did bounce. It bounced off that 440 range, where I basically called good support. We know that's good support. Came straight up and started testing in the 450 to 460 range, basically staying in there all day long. Now, yes, we suffered a couple of major short attacks, but the one thing I want you to remember, they were only able to bring it down 10 cents. That's it. They're not driving this price down dramatic amounts. They're dropping it down 10 to 15 cents at a time. We've created a good stability. The stock itself is showing strength. Whenever there's a lot of downward pressure, we seem to somehow pick up buying pressure. Whales step in, retail investors step in. Maybe that whole buy the dip and buy hold buy thing is starting to really take effect. I don't know what's going on, but every time we start making these big dips, we get retail investors coming in. Now, I do have another theory on this. This could also be hedge funds, basically, market makers, things like that coming in and drowning the stock, selling off at a high rate, drowning it down, and then buying it back at a lower rate so that way they can hedge their positions or I should say collect more monies to try and take care of their positions in other stocks such as, SPRT or BBIG or, any of the other really shorted stocks out on the market today. So I don't want to say that the shorting was insane today. It was high, but it was nothing like a couple of days ago when we were doing 13 million. Let's see here. Anything else I want to talk about? Oh yeah, I would love to know what block sale this was. I can't pay attention to the stock all day long, unfortunately, so I didn't even get to see this show up on the time and sales. And I'm sure if I do a rewind on my paper trading, I could get a little bit of info for you. But I'm trying to crank out the video for you guys so you can see it before you go to bed. So I'm not going to try and do all of that. But I would love to know this block trade right here. This is probably one sale. I'll look into it later, and if it's really significant, I'll let you guys know. Let's move on into the options chain. Oh, wait. Before we do that, one thing I do want to point out. The one thing I don't want to see investors doing is pulling from one long play to play another. What it tends to do is it tends to end in losses. Basically, what you're doing is you're chasing. So if you are long in Meta, all right, I would not suggest you try and sell any of your shares to move it over to another play. And here's why. what could wind up happening is you move your shares over to that other play. Now you might be locked in that play because it dipped. And then what if Meta rips? Now you just lost. So it's never a good idea to pull from one play to play into another play. It's always a good idea to stay convicted in the stock that you're primarily looking at. And most of us that are watching this video are really looking at Meta. So what I'm trying to get at is a good diverse portfolio will always leave you about 15 to 20% of free monies that you can use to play in the market. And that's what I would suggest that you utilize on your quick trades, your BBIGs, your SPRTs. Utilize that 20% that you have of free capital in those plays. So that way you're not pulling from your convicted plays already and taking a chance of losing. All right, now, I'm done with that. Let's move on to the options chain. All right, guys, so again, another very bullish day in the options chain. 90% calls, 10% puts. This is getting pretty monotonous. We're saying this over and over again. I don't mind it. 184% implied volatility. Yes, it did come down a little bit from yesterday. That is absolutely fantastic, and I'll take that every single day of the week. Now, it does show that the bullishness of the stock is still there and very much alive. Even though we traded sideways, we had some up and down movement, again, only within about a 15-cent range. It's not that big of a deal. Would 15 cents be a big deal if it was trading between $10 and $15 a share? Heck no. A dollar swing wouldn't even be that big of a deal. Okay, anyway. Yeah, we're not going to concentrate on this. It was bullish. Great. It's probably going to be bullish again tomorrow. Let's hope. Let's move on to Ortex. So, as always I say, I put out a morning briefing every single morning on Twitter. I try to do it on stock twits, but again, I'm at work. So I take a few minutes away from time for me being at work, and I'm a dedicated employee, and I try to always do my job first there and then play with the stocks when I have a free moment. So what I want to say is tune into Twitter. I will put the briefing out on Twitter. I can't guarantee stock twits, but what I want to point out today is look at that short interest change. So it does show that the shorts haven't given up, and they are just trying to slam it down harder. Basically proving that this was manipulation and this was manipulation. They're just shoving it down. They're trying to shake people out of their position, trying to trigger stop losses, things like that. Again, key levels of support. Key levels of support, okay? And look, volatility drags it down. And then basically after that, like I said, did nothing. Right back to where we were. So that was super important. Cost to borrow, the average today did go up. The max was up at 5.5%. So all those people who said, oh, your cost to borrow it doesn't have anything. Look, your daily numbers are really showing you a different story. Utilization, expect for that to really go up tomorrow, especially with this guy right here showing its ugly head. Cost to borrow, none of this stuff changes today. It'll change tomorrow. Intel. Here we go. So, oh, refresh. Oh, hang on, we forgot a spot. Did it update? It did. Okay, so 21.79 average days on loan. So the number of days on average that the shorts have had their position on loan is 21.79, whatever it was. Yeah, 21.79. That's how long on average they've had their short shares on loan. And again, they can have them on loan as long as they want, as long as they can afford to have them on loan. They can keep them out there, and you know, just keep kicking the can down the road until a margin call happens. Moving on, back to Fintel. Sorry. Did we refresh? We refreshed. Nothing changed. All right, half a day to cover. Bull. This, I believe, has changed. I don't think it's fully updated. We're still 99 out of 6,360 stocks, 82%, 82.5% short squeeze score. Okay. I've told you guys a million times over, if it squeezes, great. I'm going to profit. I'm going to buy back in at the bottom. That's just the way that works. But I don't want it to. Not right now. We're not ready yet. We are making a great base, don't get me wrong, but I don't want our base to be in the 4s. I want it to be in the teens, in the 20s. All right, so as of now, there's no shares available for them to be shorting. So yeah, this is extremely hard to borrow stock. It's going to go up. All those numbers that we just looked at, going to go up. Short borrow fee rate, I had said before, except I said it wrong. NA, not applicable. Not applicable, and that's because there's nothing that they can charge them. Okay, this is at the initial point of sale. So, today's FINRA volume was 8 million, of course. It was over half of the volume in the market. FINRA short volume. Now, this doesn't make much sense either, by the way. If this is over half of the market, and it's FINRA volume, and dark pool's over half of the market, where's the rest of the market at? I mean, that's like, let's see here. We had 14.5 million. This is 8 million. There's a heck of a lot of shares there that can't be accounted for. There's a lot of volume that can't be accounted for. Here, let's pull up our stats just so we can see them. I'm doing it all live right here, right now. Look at that. 7,680,000 shares done in the dark pool. FINRA. That's a heck of a lot more than 14.5 million, isn't it? I don't know, by like, I don't know, 500,000 or 1 million or something like that. I don't know. I'm no mathematician. Just pointing out the obvious, guys. Sorry. Let's see here. So, FTD data. You know, I actually have that right here, the full sheet. So here's your new FTD data as of August the 13th. All right. So, again, like we've talked about, the day we get this, it's already 2 weeks old. It's already 2 weeks old. 165,437 current outstanding failure to delivers. Now, I'm going to say this again. I'm going to cover it. This number that you see on here is reported by the NASDAQ. It is an aggregate net balance, not a cumulative. This number is all of the failures to delivers that have not been covered up to that date and that date. So this number is all of them in total, except when the hedge fund kicks the can. Remember, they have outside sources. A lot of these funds have outside indices that are still connected to them, that they can transfer stuff through them to make it look like things have been covered, to make it look like they're doing the right thing, but they're really not. They're just hiding information. They're hiding failure to delivers. They're hiding the naked shorts and the manipulated shares, the synthetic shares rather. They're hiding all of it, and they're making it look like it doesn't exist. So that way it looks to us like nothing's going on. Yeah. Sorry. Gone on. I went off on a tinge again. Why doesn't anybody stop me? Oh yeah, we're not live. All right, no buyers, no sellers. I do want to show you the short sale transactions from yesterday. We don't have anything today yet, or do we? Nope, nothing today. So from yesterday's information, so almost 200 transactions, total of 500,000 shares at $2 million. Again, yesterday wasn't crazy. We went way up, way down, traded sideways the rest of the day. It was, what, 7% up? Let's look at yesterday. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. We went way down, way up, and then traded sideways the rest of the day. Yeah. So, hey. That was your 2 million in short selling. Let's go to the next thing I wanted to talk about. The news. So, Terry, love you, man. He's got this video up here of the CNBC interview with Ihor. Now, I'm going to be straightforward with you guys. I don't particularly care for Ihor. He's not always right in his data, but then again, neither am I. But here's what I want to get at mainly with this. Here's why I don't particularly care for him, and this has happened on many different occasions. He doesn't give the entire picture. I'm not going to play this video. Everybody has seen it already. And this is going to lead into my BBIG and SPRT talk I want to have right now. So he had mentioned that he doesn't feel that they're going to be a part of this bigger squeeze or blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? I don't think he's right, but I don't think he's entirely wrong. So SPRT and BBIG they don't have the big, huge meme following that AMC and GME and some of the other bigger meme stocks have. Okay? Even us, we don't have that following yet. We'll get it. But we're getting there. Don't get me wrong. Now, let me also say this. SPRT and BBIG both have great things going for them right now. So let's go ahead and look at this. Let me bring up my chart again. And I want to bring up first SPRT. So this is today's chart. Let's back it up a little further. Let's go to the 5-minute and let's look at the last few days chart. So this was the initial major run up on SPRT. Now I'm going to tell you straightforward. This right here is not a whole lot of shorts covering. This is a major short attack. This is FOMO, and this is a major short attack. Okay, and Ortex data can back this all up because the very next morning when it updated, it only had a decrease of 2 or 3%. It increased all day. This day, it was like I want to say a 5 or 6% increase on Ortex, and it was I want to say same increase on Ortex this day. And today, let's look at SPRT on Ortex today. That's this one. Look at that. Up 20.72% short interest. They borrowed another 2.23 million shares and only returned 1 million shares today. All right. And then again, these return shares doesn't necessarily mean that they were shorted shares. They probably were. They could have been, some of them were shorted, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they were. But it sure as shit they were shorting the hell out of it today. Look at this. He said that they don't have the short interest. 71% of the free float is shorted. Okay, I get it's a small float stock. I get it's only got 6 million in short interest, or 6 million shares shorted, according to 85% of the exchanges. You don't know what kind of naked shorts are out there, what kind of synthetic shorts are out there. You don't know any of that. You don't know what exchanges have sold shares to their unexpecting retail investors that don't even exist. You don't know these things, okay? And neither does he. That's what I'm getting at with the SPRT. And then you know what? We're just going to go ahead and look at BBIG. Venco Ventures. Look at this one. It went up 10% as well today. Borrowed another 3 million shares. I understand. There's only 11 million shares on loan. But it's got 38% of its float is shorted. Okay? 50% of the free float's on loan. It's extremely hard to borrow. It's costing them 105% of the stock to borrow it. The max of 325%. You can't tell me that they covered if it's gone up. They haven't covered. They have to buy the shares from someone, and because it's a retail-owned stock, they got to buy it from retail. Okay? So keep that in mind. Don't always listen to Ehor. Like I said, I don't particularly care for him. I got nothing against the man. I bet you he's a cool dude. I bet you he's really awesome to hang out with. But as far as it goes, in my previous experience, I've heard him say a lot of bad things about really awesome stocks that have done really great things and have proven him wrong several times. So take what you see from everybody with a grain of salt. Do your own DD on all of that. And I don't want to go any further into it. I think the chart, the Ortex says a different story than what he's saying. In fact, you know what? I do have the short squeeze scores also right here. Fintel saying that BBIG is the number 1 and SPRT is the number 2. And they've been battling back and forth for a couple of days now. So for him to say that he doesn't feel that these are really good short squeeze candidates, now I understand he did say that yes, they could still squeeze. I really think that there's a huge capability of them squeezing big and hard, especially SPRT, because SPRT does have a following. All right, they have a meme following. They have a really good backing. It's not as huge as AMC and GME, may not even be as big as of MMAT, but they do still have a nice retail following. Now, with that being said, that brings us to the end of the video, which means we need to go all the way back to Webull. We need to get off of these other charts. Oh, if anybody wants to see what BBIG is doing. Oh, sorry. Nobody likes to see that stuff, right? Well, anyway, it is currently down in the after hours, and it did have a big spike, but again, we just covered it. That wasn't coverage. They shorted more today. Let's go to Meta. Let's get rid of all these lines. Hide them. Okay. Let's bring this out. Go to the 5 minute. Let's get on with our prediction. Prediction of the day. Oh, we need our lines back, don't we? Shrink this down so we can see what this thing may or may not do tomorrow. Now remember, guys, this is always a prediction. I don't know necessarily that this is going to be 100% right. I just use support and resistance to help map out what I feel the stock could possibly do tomorrow. Of course, we want to see Meta get back to the 0 line before morning, which isn't going to be a big deal. We're barely trading down right now. And of course, we're going to start with our bear prediction. Now, with today being totally sideways, I don't know which way it's going to go. I, of course, hope it's going to be bull, but there's always the probability of it going bear. If it does go bear, I'm calling out the exact same thing that happened today. I expect to see it go and drop and test 450, 440. If it breaks 440, 420 being your next level. 420 to 425 being your next level. And then, of course, making a bounce, coming back up into the 440 and 450 range, where we have obviously shown quite a bit of comfort. So if we can get back up in here, expect for us to finish in this range, maybe even close to flat like we did today. Now, if we go bull, which, again, I really hope we do, very similar to yesterday's prediction, we're going to immediately test 475, probably bounce off of it once, maybe twice to the 470, even 460, back down to flat even. And then shoot towards the 495, 480 will probably show up as a slight bit of resistance, break through that 495.5, trading in here for a little while, probably through lunch. Hopefully making another test of 5, breaking through, going to 510, 520. I'd like to see a nice green 10 to 15% day tomorrow. Trading anywhere between 5 and 520 on the scale at the close. That's what I'd like to see, and that's what I've got for you guys today. Like, subscribe, do what you got to do, leave a comment below, share this with your friends and family, and make sure you go over and see Sterling and Terry's video. I really hope Sterling put one out today. I don't know yet. He said he had something going on with his mouth and dental work and something else, so I'll check it out once I'm done. With that being said, peace.